Revelation 2815. From the 18th of July 1943. Branding of injustice. Disobeying the divine commandments. You must not allow yourselves to be carried away by compromises when it comes to representing Christ's teaching in the coming battle of faith. You must clearly follow the path which God Himself prescribes to you. You must preach love to people and always practice love so that you set an example for those who are to accept your teaching. You yourselves must not deviate from the path of law as soon as you demand justice from people. And thus you will also have to rebuke what is incompatible with Christ's teaching. You must not give your approval through your silence when you see that people are obviously sinning against God's commandments. You must reproach people for the wrongness of their actions and try to persuade them to desist. For the world no longer knows right from wrong because people have become blind in spirit. They consider everything to be right that brings them advantage, without asking whether their actions harm their neighbor. And thus they disregard the commandments of love, and time and again it has to be pointed out to them that they have no claim to God's love as long as they do not show the same love towards their fellow human being themselves. You should not fear the world, but you must speak openly so that your fellow human beings clearly become aware of whose teaching you represent. For you will never be able to do justice to both God and the world. You will never be able to convey God's will to people if you don't dare to attack the world. Worldly people do not observe divine will, and therefore the wrong way of acting has to be held against them, otherwise God's commandments cannot be made accessible to them. You will recognize at any time what contradicts these divine commandments. And then you must also speak and make yourselves representatives of the divine teaching. You must profess Him who is love Himself. You must remind people of His commandments who no longer respect them. You must openly and wholeheartedly advocate that only the fulfillment of these commandments can bring blessings to people, whereas disregarding them spiritually and earthly signifies danger for humanity. And what applies to one person must also apply to the other, and no one may be granted the right to act unkindly, even if he gains advantages from it. What is wrong must be branded as wrong, for what is against the divine commandments is wrong before God. The divine commandments, however, demand love for one's neighbor and thereby love for God. Love for one's neighbor consists of not harming him physically or mentally, of helping him if he is in need of help, of protecting him if he is in danger, be it spiritually or physically. And every act of contravention is wrong and must also be regarded as such by those who are called to spread Christ's teaching of love. Only then will you serve God, who needs you as His instruments in order to be able to speak through you. You must abhor all injustice yourselves so that you will be God's true representatives on earth. Amen.